So then the historical context goes, it was a pretty democratic society in Athena at the time, and they were trying to change a lot of the old ideology, kind of switch it up. There's a lot of new philosophers there. Um, and Sophocles, he really believed in good virtue and morals, and that's what I think this play is promoting a lot. And that's what they were trying to spread. And a lot of the times in the past, it was a lot of vengeance, just like with Eumenides and the Furies. Like, it's a lot of, they want to take away the vengeance in the society and take away the violence for people doing wrong, and just trying to do their best. And it was just like the trials of the tribulations of the Oedipus family that Sophocles just highlighted really well in these tragedies. And they're really good back then, back in like 440, and they're really good now. But it really probably changed their society a lot back then, and pushed the ideas of law.
So one of the questions that was asked was, does it conform to Aristotle's definition of a tragedy? And we said that yes, it does. I said that first off, the whole story is like pretty significant, like life-changing events for anyone, but they're also happening to like the ruler of Thebes, the royal family. And so when Aristotle talks about magnitude, this definitely covers the magnitude for the events. And then it's obviously a complete story. It has a clear beginning, middle, and end. And it was performed as a play and not narrated, so it's checks off all those marks. Antigone plays on the emotions of pity and fear during the whole work to kind of, they make the audience feel like kind of fearful of maybe the gods, or like poor greedy decisions, and pity for
fear of what can happen to them if they make bad decisions, like seeing what happens in these plays, and they're like, whoa, cannot be a bad person like that.
And so when they feel all of these emotions during the play, it helps them kind of like work through them, especially fear toward like government figures and stuff like that. It kind of breaks down that fear and breaks down those emotions, and so they feel better and happier after the performance is over. And then some study questions we came up with were, why does Antigone choose to disobey the decree of Creon and bury Polynices?
What causes Creon to change his mind and allow Polynices a proper burial and to free Antigone in the end?
Why was Antigone angry with Ismene?
What is Creon's tragic flaw, and how does that lead to his eventual downfall?
Why do you think the gods were unhappy with Creon's actions?
And what were the major themes portrayed in the play?
And this is kind of, I just threw this in, but why does Antigone fit or not fit one of Aristotle's elements of tragedy? And then the major themes that we saw most prevalent in the play were fate versus free will. And on the one side, you have Creon, who represents fate, and he is completely blinded by his own kind of arrogance and ignorance, stubbornness to see other outcomes and paths. And then on the other side, you have Antigone, who completely accepts the consequences and chooses her own actions, even if it goes against what the people in power want. And so I related this to the movie The Matrix, where the main character Neo is given a choice between two pills, and he's told that one would free him from the simulation and give him free will, but his life would become really painful and hard and difficult, and the other pill would make him completely ignorant and go back to his happy, normal life, and he would never know a thing otherwise. And so that kind of had the same parallel. Obviously, Neo chose the same path Antigone chose, and freed his mind, and accepted the consequences without question.
Yeah, and then there's the themes of loyalty to nation versus loyalty to family. Creon represented loyalty to nation, and Antigone was loyal to her family. It's very clear in these two roles, and the difference of allegiance is the source of the story's conflict. It's kind of like Star Wars, where Luke Skywalker's father is Darth Vader, who's an evil man, but Luke refused to kill him and choose family ties rather than to end his life and just to spare a person that he loves, which is kind of a moral, like you shouldn't kill your family.
And in that story, it actually turned out the other way, and he got to live, and his father was turned and killed the evil lord. So maybe it'll have different outcomes. You never know.
Yeah.
And then the last theme that we saw was civil disobedience, and Antigone chooses to just straight up disobey the laws that the king set because she thought they were fair and disrespectful to her brother. And so one example I thought of, I think there's a lot of laws like this, but the legality of marijuana in the United States, it's still federally legal for all to have weed at all, but many states have decided that they don't really want to follow that rule, and it's not right for them, and so they just choose to completely ignore it. And so it kind of provokes thoughts of when is it acceptable or necessary to break a law, and what actually makes a law fair and reasonable to implement.
Yeah. So then we got some annotated sources here. In the annotated sources, I just got a list of characters that I found by college. It's really good character analysis. It explains all about their relationships, and it's nice to read before reading the play. I wish I read it before reading the play because it would have just made everything way more clear. And then we have an article by this guy at College of DuPage, Graham Johnson. And it's really good critique of Antigone, and brings up some points of satire and how tragedies kind of compare to satire. But if you made a tragedy full satire, it'd really draw away from the pity and the fear that a tragedy is really trying to convey. And then we got some pieces of artwork here. Ooh, we got this one. This is her sprinkling a little dust. Antigone sprinkling a little dust on her brother. Kind of wild painting. It's not. He wasn't really buried. It was just like a little ceremony more so.
For some reason, when I was reading the book, I thought she was actually burying him.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But it kind of is just a dusting with like a little water ceremony.
Kind of more of like a symbolic burial.
Yeah. It's just a respectful thing to do, I guess, back then. And then here's another image of Ismene and Antigone. This one is just Antigone being like, "Yo, I'm doing my own thing. You can't stop me. Like, I know you're gonna try and whisper in my ear and really get me to stop doing this thing that you think is so bad. But I feel like death is not the worst thing for me right now."
And Antigone actually looks kind of irritated too.
Yeah, she's kind of pissed,
completely ignoring her.
She's like, yeah. So and like she's out for vengeance. It looks like she just wants to get not vengeance. Just she's out for what she wants. She's in a dark, serious robe, and then yeah, those are my sources. And then we have our personal responses to the plays. I personally like the play. You like the play?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely read it twice if you're doing it. That's my advice. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope this helped you in understanding Antigone.
Mm-hmm.
I liked working on this project. It was pretty fun. And I'm excited to do more study guides for y'all. So I'll catch you next time.
Yeah, see you later.